You guys know I love podcasting and listening to podcasts, and I'm guessing if you're listening to this that you love podcasts too. Have you ever considered podcasting yourself? It is a great way to reach your audience, grow your know, like and trust factor, and not need to show your face unless you want to. If it is something you've thought about but you don't know where to start, then head over to becomeapodcaster.uk/BAP quiz, BAP quiz, to access a 2-minute quiz that will help you work out what type of podcast might suit you. That's becomeapodcaster.uk/BAP quiz. You're listening to the Mindset and Action podcast, bringing you the map to grow and streamline your business in 2023. I'm your host, Donna Eade, your go-to gal for all things podcasting, planning and productivity. And I'll be bringing you all that plus mindset goodness from experts with knowledge to share. Let's make 2023 the year of success in your business. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I'm excited to have you here today for this special bonus episode. I am likely to be doing a few bonus episodes going forward, so make sure that you are subscribed where you listen, or head over to donnae.com/podsquad and join the pod squad so you don't miss any episodes that I do. So today is a special little bonus episode because it's been a couple of weeks now since Threads hit the waves of the internet, and I thought I would come on and have a conversation about it. Now, this is not going to be a strategy podcast. I am not going to tell you how to blow up on Threads because, to be honest with you, I don't know. And anybody who's claiming they know at this point, I think, is pulling a fast one, quite frankly. So we're going to dive into that. We're going to dive into what I think about it, how I'm using it, how I plan to use it in the future, and what I see going forward with Threads. So if you are unaware of what Threads is, it is an app that has been linked to Instagram. It's part of the Meta family, and they haven't really been advertising it outside of Instagram. If you have an Instagram account, you probably have had a notification when you've logged in that you can start a Threads profile, and basically you can port all your information from your Instagram over to your Threads profile. So it'll take your profile picture, your name, your bio, and things like that. And then Threads is basically a version of Twitter. But you have some more characters. So I think the limit is 500 characters as standard. Hashtags don't mean anything on Threads, so you don't need to use those. There's no direct messaging. There's no focus on images, although you can upload images and video to your thread. But it's basically a conversation app. So a lot of people are comparing it to the hype that came out around Clubhouse and how that kind of died off fairly quickly. But Threads is slightly different because with Clubhouse, you had to be there and be present to take part in the conversations, whereas Threads is like any other social media platform where you can drop in, comment on people's posts as and when you like. So I don't think it's going to die off in the way that Clubhouse did. Now, the thing that I am finding on there is there's kind of this argument going on whether you should use it as a business tool, whether it should be a personal thing and you leave business at the door, whether you should be promoting on there. There's so much conversation around it, especially because obviously the people that I am connected with are business people. So, for example, you can actually have it that it will automatically connect you, make you follow anybody who you are already connected with on Instagram. Now, I did that and then I undid it because I realized there's quite a few people on my Instagram profile that I'm following that I don't actually want to be following anymore. And I've been working my way through deleting accounts from my follow list over the last sort of couple of months. And I thought, no, I don't want it to automatically do that. Although it seems to still be doing it somewhat, adding people to my list. I don't quite know how, given that I took everybody out of my pending, but never mind. So a lot of these people are business people who are looking in it as a tool. And to be honest with you, I'm looking at it in a similar way. Like, what can this do for my business? It is fun. It's lighthearted. It's, thoughts, streams of consciousness that are coming out, and it can let you show off your personality a little bit more. And a lot of people are going, oh, I can be myself on Threads, and others are going, oh, well, if you're not yourself on your other social media, are people getting a lie from you? And it's not that at all. It's just with your social profiles, you kind of take parts of your personality that are suitable for that platform to show off there. So on LinkedIn, you might not put certain jokes that you would tell on Instagram or Facebook because you don't think they're appropriate. And whether they are or not is neither here nor there, but it's like some people would do that, some people wouldn't. And it's just the type of person you are. And it's like just showing another facet of your personality. So not necessarily showing the true version of yourself, but just giving you another outlet for your personality. And it shouldn't be too jarring to anybody because your personality would come out within your normal profiles anyway to some degree. So I don't think there needs to be this concern that you are misrepresenting yourself on your other platforms if you feel like you can be yourself on Threads. So that's something to consider. Now, what I have seen, and it really actually quite upset me, that people were jumping on the bandwagon like 3 days after being on Threads, saying that they were going to do a strategy masterclass. And to that, I call BS. Like, there is no way after 3 days being on the platform you can give anybody any kind of strategy to how Threads works, what's the best way to go about growing, what's the best way to go about promoting, or anything like that. It is so unfair because people will jump on those thinking, oh great, this person knows something I don't know, and the fact is that that person doesn't know anything you don't know. They've had the app for exactly the same amount of time as you. Now, a lot of these people were social media managers stroke marketers, and yes, they can tell you strategies that they can kind of manipulate from other platforms that may work on Threads, but they haven't even had a chance to actually test it themselves. So I would just be wary of anybody telling you that they can give you a Threads masterclass right now at this moment of time when this goes live. Give it a couple more weeks, so a month to 2 months, then people will have been on it long enough to actually be able to look at patterns and see. At the minute, the hype around it is so big that everybody is able to grow and everybody is on there doing all the things. So it's like, well, we're all doing all the things and it's not working the same for everyone. So maybe you professional social media people need to actually take a step back and do some analysis before you decide to teach people how to do anything on the platform. So that really frustrated me because I don't like to see people get taken advantage of. And obviously these people will have a sign up page for you to go to this masterclass. So they're getting you straight on their email, and they're not going to be able to provide you with anything more than you can do yourself or work out from, watching what other people are doing on Threads. It's like crazy to me that they're doing that, and it seems really unfair and disingenuous. So just be wary of people who are claiming to be thread experts and giving you a masterclass in how to use it at this early stage. Now, this podcast was prompted by the fact that I heard the wonderful Amy Portfield and Jasmine Starr talking about Threads on Amy's podcast last week, and I will link to that episode in the show notes because those two ladies have been around for a very, very long time within the industry. Amy has been doing this for 14 years. She is a marketing expert, so she's got a thing or two to say about marketing. Jasmine Starr has been an Instagram expert for years, and she has got some interesting things to say, but both of those are claiming not to be able to give you any particular advice on how to blow up on Threads right now. So I think that's really important and transparent and fair that they do that. So I will link to that episode in the show notes so you can go over and hear from people who are more experienced in this industry than I am. So my thoughts on the platform, how it's working for me and what I'm planning on using it for. So to me, this is an extension of Instagram, and I like the fact that it is text-based. Now, I'm a visual audio learner. Like, I like to hear things and see things. That is how I learn best. And I think it comes from the fact that I was plonked in front of a TV for the first 10 years of my life. I am a certified telly addict. So I think that I learn best when I'm seeing and hearing things. So text has always been a bit of a issue for me in the fact that I don't read very fast. So coming up with captions for Instagram was really winding me up, because I'm just like, nobody is reading them. It's like a very small percentage of people read your captions. They'll read text on the images, but they're not going down into the captions and reading them. They'll watch the reels and read the text off a reel, but they're not going into the captions to read the captions. It's very difficult. And I am guilty of it, because I don't want to read the captions. They're too long, they've got too much information in, and I just don't want to see it. I saw a reel the other day of somebody who turned around and said, here's 3 ways to do something. And then they said, read the caption. And I didn't read it. I was really annoyed that they didn't put it in, put the bullet points in the video. And then if I'd have wanted to read the extended version, I could have gone into the comments. But because they didn't put it in the reel, I didn't bother. I just clicked out of it. It really wound me up. But that's because of the type of learner I am. I don't want to read a great big long caption, and that's what tends to happen on Instagram, is the captions tend to be very long or non-existent. But this is a text based, but it's only 500 characters. So you've got to be concise with what you're saying. And that I appreciate. I can read a quick thread. I'm not going to be reading a caption. So it, to me, is an extension of Instagram. It's a lot of the same people who are on Instagram at the moment that you're connected with. So it is a way to build engagement and relationships with those people that you have on your Instagram. So to me, that's what I see a lot of people using it for right now, is just kind of getting to know these people that have liked a lot of your Instagram posts over the years, but you maybe haven't had conversations with. You're actually getting to have conversations with them, which I think is great, because to me, it's all about networking. When it comes to whether I'm going to be using it for business or pleasure, as it were, I think it's going to be another platform that's a mix of both. So I have signed up to it through my mindset and action profile on Instagram. So it's Donna_Eid_ if you want to come and find me. So I'm signed up through that one. I'm not going to sign up through my personal Instagram page. So I'm over there. I am just stream of conscious. It's just things that I'm thinking about at the time. I already posted one saying, has the buzz already died out on Threads, because I'm not seeming to get any comments on my posts, which when I actually looked back at it, it's the last couple that I haven't had any interaction on, but the one before that I had 4 comments on. So I was obviously just getting in my head about that. And I think that's the problem, is you can get in your head about these things because it's a brand new platform. So everybody's excited. Everybody's over there spending way too long over there, procrastinating on doing other things and getting all wrapped up in Threads. And then if you don't see the interaction you think you should be seeing, all of a sudden it's not working for you. It's something that we are going to have to test. Something that Jasmine said in her part of Amy's podcast was that she has committed to doing 1 thread a day. That is where her commitment is for it. She's going to consistently put 1 thread a day. If she does more, that's fine, but she's not going to add anything more to her plate, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to be everything everywhere all the time, and it's exhausting. Like, if you are just on 1 or 2 platforms, and at the beginning of this year I decided LinkedIn and Instagram were going to be my places. I wasn't going to put any effort into other social media platforms. I wasn't going to be very present over there. LinkedIn and Instagram were going to be my 2 social medias of choice for 2023 based on where my business is at. So with that in mind, adding Threads to it is like, hang on a minute, if I just added another social media to my list of things to do. So really, I'm just going to see it as an extension of Instagram. and I am going to commit to doing one thread a day, the same as Jasmine. If I do more, great. If I don't, that's fine, as long as I do one a day. Now, when's the best time to post? What things should you be posting? All of this is up in the air right now, because at the end of the day, everybody is on it at the moment. So you could go on at any time and there will be people on there interacting and engaging. Doesn't mean that they're your people, doesn't mean that they're going to interact with you. But unlike other platforms, it is not bound by an algorithm at the moment, which means that you are seeing things in real time. You're seeing them in chronological order. You're seeing them and being able to find people's old posts. It seems to be going a little bit more on engagement. So the more engagement a post is getting, the further up the feed it is. But it just means that you have the opportunity to get found, and you have the opportunity to start conversations, and they're public conversations. There's no DMs on threads, so it is public conversations, which means that other people get to take part in them. So you might be talking to one person and somebody else is going to jump in and add their 2 pennies worth, and then you've got a group conversation going. So it's a little bit like having a group chat on WhatsApp or on Facebook Messenger, where you're kind of putting something out there and numbers of people can actually respond to it. So it's like a massive group chat over there. I really like it for that purpose. Because I quite liked the idea of Twitter, but I don't like Twitter because I feel like it's a really negative space. I feel like everybody just goes over there to complain. I feel like it's very political and very divisive, and I don't like it. So I actually came off Twitter this year. So to me, this is like a happier Twitter, and I hope it remains that way. But I have seen some things that have made me think, oh, really, already? Are we already doing that? So just be mindful of what it is you want to put in your head, because I think it's very important that, we are conscious and selective over what we allow to come into our brains, because we all know the power of words. We all know how we get affected by things, and even if you don't think you're being affected by something, subconsciously it's all going in and it's all having an effect. So you want to make sure that what you're taking in is all of the good stuff that you want for yourself, all of the good stuff you want for the people around you. So if you start to see things that aren't quite your jam, then feel free to unfollow people, feel free to block people. Just make sure that you are keeping it a safe space for yourself. And I think that's the difference here, is that you are able to select who you're following and who you're not following and what you're seeing and what you're not seeing. And so you have that freedom at the moment because they're not pushing certain people, they're not putting adverts on there. So it is quite a nice place to hang out at the moment. Will it stay that way? I hope so. I do fear that it will become like Twitter, and I don't know if Meta have something in place to kind of continue to foster this positive space. Mark Zuckerberg has said that until they get 1 billion users, they won't look at monetizing it. That's been Meta's thing across their platforms, is they don't look to monetize until they hit a certain level. But that means that that is going to come at some point if it reaches that, which I think is sad. I'm like, you are already making billions from everything else. Can't you just let this be the playground? You know, it's not going to stop people using the other platforms because of the nature of the platform. It's just this chat feature, really. It's like Messenger but in public, so it's not going to stop people using Instagram. It's not going to stop people making short form content with reels. It's not going to stop people using Facebook. In fact, I probably think that the people who are focused on Facebook being their platform of choice to be on, probably won't come over to Threads. You know, I feel like the generation that spend the most time on Facebook aren't really going to be interested in Threads. So I don't feel like they're going to lose out by allowing Threads to be just what it is right now. But we will see, guys, we will see. So that is my little sort of thoughts, feelings about Threads. You may have different opinions. I would love to hear them. So you can come over and talk to me on Threads about it, because I will post my podcast episodes over there, let people know that they're there to listen to. So you can come over and find the thread about this episode. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments. And if there is anything there that needs to be talked about, maybe I'll do a follow-up to this. And maybe I'll do a follow-up in a couple of months once we've kind of bedded in with it and seen what's happening, and I can give you an update of my thoughts. But that is it for today, guys, for this little bonus episode. I hope that that has given you a little bit of insight into the Threads app, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. Don't forget to hit those stars and leave a review of the podcast where you listen if you found value in what you heard today. It's a free way you can help the podcast reach more people just like you.